Saturday, June 20th, it's Crystal Harley-Davidson's Father's Day ride. Ride with...
Born to live, live to ride, ride to live, I was born to ride. American built, we forever unite, and that's the deal, I was born to
Born to Ride is sponsored in part by Rubenstein Law, 1-800-FL-LEGAL, representing riders since 1988. Offices throughout Florida, 1-800-FL-LEGAL. If Instagram is your thing, we're there. We're everywhere. Follow us at #Born to Ride Motorcycle Media, your #1 motorcycle resource.
I'm Eric Estrada, Chip's guy. You're watching Born to Ride TV. Enjoy.
Oh, my goodness, everybody. Welcome to Born to Ride Radio. I'm Dave the Flashman Morgan. Another Tuesday night is upon us. And I tell you right now, folks, I cannot confirm nor deny that Nefarious James, this gentleman you see right here, did his hair before he rolled up in here tonight. All of them. And I can't confirm or deny that we've had a couple of beers before the show, because we just had to, in lieu of everything that's been going on in our great country, that we just needed to settle down a little bit. I may want to give you a little heads up that if you get offended easily today, today may not be the show for you to watch. Just saying. But we welcome everybody here. Appreciate you guys being here. We love us some Born to Ride. Shout out to all the folks that are checking in. Looks like Mari's checking in. Jeffrey Bell is fired up. Trina Pete is fired up. The numbers are going up. Nasty Ronnie is in the house tonight. We'll probably give Ronnie a call before the end of the show. But Nefarious James, welcome back to the program, man. Always good to have you. You got an open invitation anytime.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me here.
So how was the ride up? Good?
Oh, absolutely. Like always, absolutely miserable.
Yeah?
Yeah. Nothing like traffic and all the lovely people who like to wave at you and get real close and personal to you on the road.
Yeah? Yeah. And you came up, how was the weather? I mean, the last time you were here, like May 5th?
Yeah.
And we were having this nice, cool, almost like fall strip of weather, beautiful night. Get out there. It was nice and cool. Boy, what a difference a few weeks makes in the weather. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think now we're sitting around the 80s, almost even in the evening.
Yeah,
So,
80,
I mean,
and not
ridiculous.
to mention 80% humidity.
Yeah.
What a difference.
Yep, that's the sunshine part you get in Florida.
There you go.
Yep.
Let's dive right into it, man. Shout out to my boy Sharp. He's got us fired up. We got the new magazine is going to be on shelves here, and you got your latest article. Here goes everybody.
Yeah.
And I can tell by the look on your face that you may have a little pin-up angst in there. You need to get out on the with a pen.
Not
Huh?
at all.
No.
No, I have nothing pinned up. I let it all out. Why hold back?
Like I said, folks, listen. If you're offended easily, listen. You may want to watch us maybe on the playback or something like that.
Yeah,
But listen,
that might be a good idea.
you know what? In all honesty, though, the chat is open. We'd love to get your opinion because we're definitely going to be working your mind over a little bit. James, if you don't mind, pull that mic a little bit closer just to make sure that they hear exactly what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
You know
I'll just
what I
speak
mean?
louder also, so that'll make sure it works out pretty good.
Exactly. So I just had an opportunity to peruse it a little bit. And by the way, if you want to check out the latest magazine now, if you haven't had an opportunity to get out and get it, it's online at borntoride.com. Did I mention we may or may not have had a beer or two before we started the show?
Oh, I'm not using any excuses. You can go right ahead.
I'm not either.
No, I'm like this all the time anyway.
Your new feature in the magazine, Here Goes Everybody. Tell us a little bit about where you got that from.
Well, pretty much everything that's going on right now, and everybody here is aware of it already. I mean, you hear it on the news, you see it on social media, you hear it from your friends, you hear it from your family. It's gotten absolutely out of control. It's gotten to the point where you have spinsters out there that are taking a topic that has some extremely valid points, and they're spinning it for their own whatever it is they're trying to accomplish, their own agenda. When you end up doing that, it's just a subversive way of going about instead of being direct with the people. They spin it. They want to use somebody as that stepladder in order to try to make their point. And when they don't get their point, they do the other stuff that they've been doing. The looting, the pillaging, the assaults, the damaging private and public property, the defacing of veterans' memorials. All of this stuff, which absolutely unacceptable. It accomplishes absolutely nothing but makes a greater divide. And when you end up taking the greatest generation and you deface what they've done, we wouldn't be here doing what we do today if it wasn't for those people.
It's the truth.
So here you have these, as far as I'm concerned, and I'll say it right here, insignificants that are stuck in their mom's basement that all of a sudden feel like they're empowered for some reason, running out there, creating this damage, obviously not realizing the extent of what they're doing. Or maybe they do. Maybe it's to get a rise out of all of us. Obviously, it worked on me because I'll tell you, I'm pissed as hell on it.
Yeah.
To go and do that with that, all my grandparents, every one of them served in World War II, male and female. And when you end up doing something like that to their memory, yeah, I get a little bit upset. I get twisted.
As you should.
So, and that's not to mention the other memorials that they've ended up on, the Marine Corps Memorial, the Vietnam Memorial, any veterans. It's like nothing is sacred to these people. Now, when I say these people, don't be sitting there thinking I'm just taking out, it has nothing to do with race. This has to do with just pure, unfiltered ignorance.
Yeah.
And it's just like other topics you end up rising. You can validate to yourself any topic that you want. You can end up coming up with facts from all these great sources like, well, I won't name them, but news sources on your television set, which have been multiple times debunked as far as validity. Facebook, the ultimate in positive and perfect information. Wikipedia, all these sources. You can get sources and for anything that you want that will be with your opinion, whether it's accurate or not. So it's a way of self-validating what you're doing wrong. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Make sure that's absolutely clear. The only race that I end up seeing here are Americans.
Yep.
It's not brown, black, yellow, green, whatever the hell you want to end up sitting there splitting hairs about. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here about this country. I'm here about the people that are in this country. And that's what we all did as veterans. We defended that. We gave them the right to have that voice. But then they want to go and turn around and they want to stab it in the back.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you on that, James. But and the thing that I guess gets to me is you've got like you said, we've our ancestors are and most of us fought to get to where we could have our freedom of speech. And I have no problems with folks that want to protest in a peaceful manner to get their message across, to get positive change across. But as soon as you break the law, as soon as it becomes illegal for you to do whatever it is that you do, whether it's break into an establishment, loot a place, I mean, how many times have you just been offended about something and said, you know, that's really got me so ticked off, I think I'm going to go break in and steal a flat screen.
Right. Well, you know, all peace comes with a 70-inch.
Yeah, it does these
You
days.
grab one of those, it solves everything for everybody else around you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, but you're absolutely correct. There's a difference between protesters and there's a difference between people who are causing insurrection and wanting to be domestic terrorists. There's a big difference. Protesters, I will listen to a protester all day long, whether I agree with them or not. It is their God-given right,
Yes.
the rights they're given in this country, to say how they feel, what they feel, and to have it addressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the louder the voice normally, yeah. But when you start doing it with negative action, destructive action, because here's what I never understood. You're going to sit there and you want to be heard. I'm listening. You want to end up making sure your point's across. I get it. You want to get exposure on the news? That's great. You're on TV. You start burning down stores, start looting, start hurting people and assaulting other citizens in this country. I just stopped listening. My ears just shut off.
Yeah.
Because now I'm looking at negativity, and now I'm not looking at an American who's doing things the American way. I'm looking at a terrorist. Because if you take a look at the definition of terrorist, part of that is coercion, terror, scaring people, trying to move people in the direction that you want with political motives, and to unseat the current government. All this is taking place. All of it, to a T, to the definition. And that's not Wikipedia. Okay, right. So it does come from multiple sources, valid sources. And I understand that other people want to end up saying, well, you know what? It's because they're angry. They're upset. It's pent-out aggression. But how many times do you have to have the pent-out aggression to go out and then destroy your own neighborhoods just for 6 months from now, complain about, can you fix them for us now?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. It doesn't accomplish anything because you know what? I've been watching these videos on store owners, and yeah, I'm going to end up saying African American, black, whatever term or coin you want to give that particular race, who have worked hard and retired, and like, there's a guy who opened up a sports bar. They burned it down on him. A guy who worked all his life and finally got his dream, and they even destroyed his dream. How can you validate wanting to have anything and equality and have things turn for the better when you're going to destroy your neighbor's dream?
And your own town.
Exactly. Next door sometimes.
Your own town.
And here they are, you're looting, now you're looting grocery stores and other stores, and then you complain you have no food. How does that make any sense? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Because then what you have to do, then you got to stand there going, somebody help me. Well, who's going to be there when you get rid of them all?
Yeah.
There isn't going to be any.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that our own government is doing,
it's a scary time, man.
It is.
It's a scary time
very
because it's a
scary
lot.
time.
It's a lot bigger than you and me, and and we're just sort of at the mercy of the thing. And you hit on a great note. We do a show on Monday night. I can't say the name of it, but it rhymes with The Hit Show. And we talked about that, and we pulled up folks across the nation. We showed their pictures, black, white, Hispanic, everybody that has come to America to become Americans and live out our dreams, as you say.
Right.
And their businesses were just completely destroyed. Didn't matter. It didn't care. Like, and that the gentleman you spoke of with the restaurant worked all his life just to see it go up in a matter of a few minutes.
Yep. And it breaks your heart. It really does.
It does.
I mean, even for the
There's
hardest person
no other
sit
way to
there-
say that.
Yeah, even for the hardest person that's out there, you got to feel for that guy because you know how it is to work.
Yeah.
And you want to meet your goals.
Yeah.
Whether it's to get yourself a bike or a car or a bar or a store or a fishing outfit, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
It's your dream. And
Yes.
then to have somebody just destroy it for what? Out of anger because they're mad? How many times you been mad? I don't see you going through the grocery store ripping up the Doritos aisle.
Right.
You know, you don't do that.
Yeah.
There's other ways of expressing it.
Yeah.
And the thing is people stop listening to expression when it starts getting physical, and you're keeping them in their own homes in terror, to where they're afraid to leave.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous that it's gotten to this point. And, you know, all we could really hope is that some of the plans that are in the works by certain groups don't come to fruition, because, you know, there has been, you know, there's a group that was around from the 60s and 70s that's now pushing having an armed militia police their own neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. Well, I thought they tried that in Harlem. I thought they're still trying that in Chicago. You see how successful all this is. And meanwhile, they were attacking police officers. There was a lot of, a lot of insurrection with that, and it just did not work because, you know, then you're saying about segregating again people. There's no integration there because in order to patrol your own people, they have to kind of be in a certain area for you to be able to have that control. When you have them spread out through the suburbs and the cities, what are you going to do? And that's what the police department's for. The police department there is to protect the citizens, to help them in their time of need, to help them when things are going south. Mm-hmm. And it's gotten to the point where they become overwhelmed. I'm not, you know, I think I spoke with this last time I'm here. You know, I've had my issues with police, but they serve a purpose.
Yeah.
Okay? That's their job. The thing to do is to end up having that accountability. And that's what's been missing in a lot of areas. Some not so much, some definitely. I mean, there's some police departments, they're spot on. Their cameras are turned on all the time. Their badges are uncovered. You know who you're dealing with?
Yeah.
And it's got, you know, the good old video helper there to say what's going on. You can't argue with video.
Right.
You can, depending on the angle and how people are playing it. We've noticed that now.
Yeah, how good editing software you
Yeah,
got.
5 or 6 different angles can make it sure look different.
Yeah.
But it still comes down to, you know, maybe start with that kind of accountability to where they have to have it on. If they don't have it on, then have measures that take care of that. After so many times, then there's something that happens with them. Mm-hmm. But have that accountability. I mean, there's already citizen review boards. I know Sarasota County has one where they end up reviewing things that the police do. How successful it is, I haven't been involved with it in probably 10, 11 years. But they did have that program. And I know a lot of other cities do too. It's a civilian-based council with police representation on it. You know, so have them get involved with that, because then their voice will end up being heard there as well. But just to go out and flat out just create havoc and destruction. You say you're not making enough. You say that you're not getting enough. You say you're not getting, and then you do that. How is that fixing anything? It's not. They built down a housing project in Minnesota that's supposed to end up doing like 40 affordable houses. It's like a $38 million project. They burned it down. Mm. Who is it supposed to benefit? But they burned it down. Now it benefits no one. Yeah. Now you have more homelessness, more strife, and more problems.
Adding to the cause. Adding to the cause. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll dive a little bit more into this. This is Born to Ride Radio. We do this every Tuesday, 7 to 8. Tell your friends, and we're back in minutes.
Duke's Brewhouse Lakeland, the hottest, newest place everyone is talking about, invites you to Bike Night, first Wednesday of every month, 6 to 9 p.m. Ride your motorcycle and get 15% off your meal at Bike Night. That's 15% off your meal at Bike Night. Speaking of food, it's the best in town with the hottest servers anywhere. Wing Wars? Duke's wins every time. So don't miss Bike Night. Duke's Brewhouse, Lakeland. It's the first Wednesday of every month. Brought to you by Born to Ride TV and Magazine and Rubenstein Law.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Tim.
We're TC Brothers, and we're here at Born Free 9. Yeah, this show really has everything. You've got everything from an FXR show, vintage chopper show, bands, skateboarding. I mean, so many entertainment aspects to this show. It's a really multi-dimensional show that is really unique compared to anything else you usually see.
I mean, it's a great event, coolest motorcycles in the world. I love the heat, so it's perfect for me. Stand around, try to sweat a little bit. You know, a lot of our friends from all over the world come here. It's super cool. But I mean, I come to this event every year that I can.
thing about Born Free this year is they had vans bring in their vert ramp, and they got some pro skateboarders out here tearing it up.
Born Free's rad. You see a bunch of motorcycles you definitely don't see it every day.
Hey, you're seeing all the new age stuff that's coming out, the next generation of motorcycling, and seeing some really cool guys traveling on some really small bikes. I'm digging it.
This is it. Everyone comes out, everyone has a good time, just hanging out. Bikes, girls, no complaints, man.
And seeing the show just getting bigger and bigger, and the more vendors showing up, more custom bikes showing up. Man, it's awesome, man.
We're over here at the invited builders section, and this is basically the area where these are the guys that get invited to the show to, you know, they bust their ass all year long to build these bikes. And I can just show you kind of, you know, an example of like unique builds that you see here. I mean, Ringo's Chop Shop, Martin Colgreen, he literally built his whole entire engine. The castings from scratch, machined them, like, it's just mind-boggling to me how much work that some of these guys put in these bikes, and I mean, blood, sweat, and tears all year long.
My name's Jake Hines. I own Prism Supply with my brother Zach Hines, and this is our Born Free 9 invited builder bike, and we named it Paradise. We made the front half of the frame. We made the entire front end, handlebars, gas tank, fender, exhaust, you name it. We made pretty much every single part on the bike. The color is actually like a 62 GM color. I can't remember the exact name of it, but that's how we came up with the color. And yeah, and that's it.
Nice bike, but you're not on the track, you're on a road. I get it, your bike was built to go all out, and we all like to go fast. Just don't do it on the road. Save it for a closed course. Back it up. Here's a better plan. Performance is what it's all about. We all know that. But on the open road, we've all got to take it easy, because it's not a controlled environment. We need time to react to whatever comes our way. It's not about limiting our abilities. It's about living. The road is not your racetrack. Make the right choice. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Born to Ride Radio every Tuesday night from 7 to 8 Eastern Standard Time. Tell all your friends about it if they need to be exposed to a little Born to Ride Radio. Listen, we got it for you. Lots of cool stuff, too, at borntoride.com. The latest magazine is up in its digital form. You can check it out. Nefarious James in the house with me tonight. Rode all the way up from down south in the hot and sticky weather. Shout out to Kevin. Kevin's got us fired up. Tara is watching tonight. Marty's in the house. Chuck is watching. Rick checking in. And don't forget, folks, you can always hit us up, 813-525-5560. I'm sure we may be striking some nerves with some folks tonight. If you'd like to chime in, we'd love to hear from you. By all means. By all means. I'll tell you who's probably chomping at the bit is my buddy the Squirrel. The Squirrel. He always ends the show with us with a positive message, which is great, and I love him for doing that. But I think he's along the same lines of what we're talking. What do you think about the situation that got us here? With everything, we talk about the police officers, and God love them, man. And I look at the police officers that are taking care of all of these crowds and doing crowd control, and I don't know that I could do it without losing my mind and just going ape, on somebody sometimes, especially when you're just trying to do your job, but you've got people pressing on. And like we've, I think, made pretty clear, there's folks that are just trying to get their message across and doing the right thing and being peaceful about it. But once it turns south and gets ugly, you've got these police officers that are out there, and you may have just hit them upside the head with a water bottle or something like that, but I feel that just the way they look, they've taken on this job as a police officer. I think if you dialed 911, they would still come and help you out in most cases.
Right. Well, I think what a majority of these protesters, whatever the groups are that are running around, I think what they're forgetting mostly is that these are still human beings. I mean, granted, they put their pants on the same way that we do. They may be a little bit different color and match, but it still comes down to they're still human beings.
Yeah.
And with that, it's like when you end up watching the start of a lot of these videos that you end up watching, a lot of the crowds that are put together, everything's going fine, and then you get some retard run out there and bust a window.
At the end, yeah.
And then next thing you know, next one's jumping in on it. People are all jumping in, and then you get that mob mentality.
Yeah.
Well, granted, law enforcement is trained in order to handle things differently for crowd control, riot control, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But it still comes down to they are still human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only so much I'm going to have somebody come over and poke me, punch me in the face, try to stun gun me, bust bottles over my head, throw rocks, Molotov cocktails, try to grab my uniform, grab my yeah, all that. There's only so much someone's going to end up taking till, they may end up giving a shove.
Yeah.
It's going to be an aggressive shove because, after all, they're trying to make a point. Don't do that.
All right.
But what people need to sit there and remember is that, that first one.
No,
I know what it's like to go somewhere and have everybody in a room hate you. It's a crappy feeling, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I tell you, man, I look at it and I watch all these videos, and I actually have a good friend that lives in one of the buildings in downtown Tampa that overlooks the Curtis Hickson Park, where, like, for the whole last week or so, obviously when it first started, it was a little bit more intense, but things have kind of lightened up a little bit, and hopefully will cease completely. But he actually had video, and I just can't believe the composure of some of these police officers in the midst of everything. Because it's like I say, I don't know that I would have the wherewithal to be able to hold back.
Yeah, well, I can agree on that. Like I said, they're still in and out of that uniform. They're still a human being, and they're still going to end up having a reaction. That's human nature.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the same thing. Someone bends your arm back, there's only going to be a certain amount. You could end up bending it back until it wants to spring forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything's going to end up every like they say, every action has a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on how delayed that reaction is.
Sure.
And when things get, I know with military training, it was when you go to make a point, you make sure the point sticks out in everybody's mind so they don't want to do it again.
Right.
So with this crowd control, a lot of that ends up coming to effect. They want to maintain order, but also there's something else that people end up needing to remember. If they say leave.
There you go.
What they're going to sit there and figure is the ones that are staying, the ones that are there for peaceful protests, the ones with the mask, the hood, the helmet, the backpack, the fighting gloves, the sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're all there just to sit there and make a point.
Yeah.
No, they're there to also possibly be combative. You have to look and assess that threat. So they're looking at that as well. But when they say leave, it means time's up. You've made your points, time to go.
Yeah.
When you want to end up pressing that envelope, well, it's sort of like with it's like what I would used to call the three phases of the party. You got the one that's open to the whole crowd. The second part of it is where you've got your core group and their supporters.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third is the good luck. If you're hanging around, it's all game on no matter what, because then the third group, those are the ones that are there all the time.
Yeah.
And anybody who hangs around, well, it's a free-for-all. So, you got your three phases there of the party. It all depends on which part of that party you want to be involved with. But if you stay for phase 3, That's a game on section. Something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's normally when the video recorders come on and the cameras come out and the news
And that's
agencies,
all that gets seen.
Right. That's what all they want to see. That's what sells. That's what gets advertisers. That's what makes emotion. That's what gets people started and riled up and going off the chain. That's what they want. It sells.
Mm-hmm.
So people, when you want to end up doing that stuff, you want to be on TV getting beat like a baby seal in the Arctic, you go right ahead. Stay for the third part of the party.
There you go.
But just know that it's probably going to happen. Don't be surprised. I mean, come on.
Phase 3.
Yeah.
Phase 3's coming.
That's all it is.
So let's dive a little bit more into your latest article in the Born to Ride.
Mm-hmm.
Here goes everybody.
Yeah, that one's really going to cheer people up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that more or less.
I mean, we're on a cheerful note. Why not go with it?
Oh, yeah. Why not? Why not impress the entire crowd?
Why not?
It all pretty much was, a lot of it was based on the stimulus checks that were going out.
Mm-hmm.
You see, here's one of the things. I was considered one of the essentials. I've been working since this entire thing has started. I do a lot of road work, so I'm always out on the roads.
Mm-hmm.
Here you have all these orders: stay at home, social distancing, stay away from this one, stay away from that one.
Mm-hmm.
But where I was doing this, I do road paving, so I'd be on the road a lot.
Okay.
So here I'm in the middle of nowhere where you figure you're not going to find anybody. So, yes, everybody, guess what? While everyone was at home, they are fixing the roads.
I was going to ask you if that was going on.
Yeah, well, that was the big thing. It's like, well, since there's going to be less people on there, why aren't they fixing the roads? They're fixing the roads.
They are fixing the roads,
Yeah,
folks.
if you take a look, there's video online of it. But with along that, I start seeing large groups of cars. They're going camping.
Mm-hmm.
They're going out on motorcycle rides. All of them not doing the 6-foot bull stuff that's out there about it. And it just comes down to, you got people who are pretty much, it's vacation time. Well, I understand when you end up getting time off. For those who don't get time off, it's a great thing to actually get that extra time.
Mm-hmm.
But I've talked to business owners who have responded to some of my posts and some of my banter and BS that I end up writing. And it comes down to where when things started to break and they were allowed to start having people back, people were refusing to go back to work because they were making more money staying at home than they were going back to work.
I heard that.
Because of the addition. Now, before anybody gets their panties in a wad, we'll make sure they end up realizing, I understand kids are home from school. At the same time, you've got to get child care. That's a whole different animal. We're talking about a whole different section here.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's not including those people who are trying to find an alternative to be able to getting their kids into some kind of thing there. I dig that. That's part of the equation on how you got to figure that crap out. But the ones that are just sitting around, yeah, now they're all of a sudden they're drinking at the beach, they're kayaking, and they're posting all this stuff like it's one big party.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, they've been offered to go back to work, but they don't want to because they're making more sitting at home. That's obscene. Get off your ass, go back to work.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you got other people who are out there, they're working, and they're still making the same thing that they were getting. We're not getting any bonuses. We're not getting any bonuses for doing it. I understand everybody. I've had guys sitting there telling me, it's the free money. It's not free money. Those rent things that they're putting off, those mortgage payments, guess what? They're going to ask for them all at once.
Yeah.
All right? It's not deferred. It's not put at the end of the thing. I had a discussion with a gentleman in New York about this, and it came down to where he brought it up where it was like, you know what? This stuff's going to come where you end up not having to pay that rent. You don't have to end up paying that payment. They're holding it off. But, yeah, they're holding it off for like 3 months, and then they're going to want that 3 months all at one time. Well, the mortgage company's got plenty of money. I don't see why they need a bailout to begin with. But they could take that and they could defer it at the end of the loan.
Sure.
Where it would make more sense where you can actually get on your feet.
Yeah.
But instead, they want to play greedy and they want their money. So then you're going to end up creating a real estate issue now where you're going to have more product, more repos. You're going to go through the same thing as the crash with the real estate market, which is just going to multiply things to be even worse. Because the first ones that are going to end up being stuck are what? The lower income.
Yeah.
And then here you start a whole other ball of junk. It's not being thought out very well. And I know there's a lot smarter people than me out there that actually take care of this stuff. I just wish they would actually do their job that they're getting paid for.
So what would you like to see happen? What's the fix, you think?
Wow. What's the fix? There's just too many facets to say there's one fix. I mean, yeah, everybody would like to say, okay, flick the switch, turn the cameras off, it's all done, let's just go back to business.
Yeah.
But it can't happen that way. It's not going to happen that way.
No.
In all actuality, I do believe in a lot of what's going on. about a lot of the changes that need to be made. There are changes that need to be made. How they're going about it, some of the solutions they've come up with are militant. I don't support that. Okay? Even though the life I've had may not have always followed the letter of the law, it's still the law, and it's supposed to be for the greater good.
Yeah.
All right? So you follow it as best as you can to where you're comfortable with it. I put it that way.
There you
I
go.
don't think it's written anywhere where it
There
says,
you go.
yeah, it's kind of a suggestion on doing stuff. But reality, it's a guideline. And when you start going so extreme out of that guideline, you're just off the chain. Then there's got to be some corrective action. Well, you know, it's like when your mom sat there and said, don't touch the hot stove. What's the first thing you did? You put your hand on the stove.
I want to touch the stove.
Now they're putting their hands all over the stove, and they're wondering why they're getting burned. But they're not getting burned yet. You know, this isn't a free ride. This isn't like a free reign to go and take what everybody else has, and that's your, your payment for your insurrection. I mean, there's got to be a line where common sense kicks in and says, okay, I think I made my point. Okay, I'm on TV everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. Celebrities are doing fundraisers to bail out people who are destroying other people's businesses. Maybe they ought to start doing fundraising to help these people rebuild those businesses that are being destroyed by these people who just don't give a crap.
Yeah.
You start doing that kind of stuff, it's like I said, it's totally out of control. But there are people that are a lot smarter than me that probably have a lot of the answers. No one's got the answer, but as a collective, maybe from all parties involved, minus the militants, minus the retarded people, the Atifas, I guess you say the white nationalists, the black nationalists. You know, it's on both sides. There's extreme on both sides.
Sure.
You know, this isn't a time for extreme. This is a time for smart minds, calm minds, civil minds to get together and talk it out. You want to talk about it in front of a table and scream at each other? Fine. Do it amongst each other. It's like, what was that? Frankie Goes to Hollywood when something go to war, and it ended up being they got the I think it was Ronald Reagan and Gorbachev or Brezhnev or whatever boxing in the ring.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's let them hammer it out and come up with a solution. But here's the thing. Nothing's going to change if people don't calm down and allow people to think it through. Right now, we're in a reactionary stage. Something happens, they react. Something happens, we react. It's back and forth. It's never going to change until the smarter of the group says, hold on a minute. You know, step back and let's give this some breathing room and let the smart people do the freaking work here. I'm not saying anybody's really stupid, but we got some dumb people out there right now. All right? They're not thinking. They're thinking with emotion, they're thinking with reaction, and they're thinking with anger. And that right there, I'll tell you from experience, never works out very well, and it becomes quite expensive in the end.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of it's coming from is anger.
Yeah, it's just pent up. I mean, yeah, I understand pent up aggression. I understand anger. I understand, you know, having a meltdown. You got people locked up from this virus. You got them all wearing masks. You've given them a way to hide their identity. Then all of a sudden you sit there and you say, here's an example that you can end up using to go off the chain. Oh, hell yeah. And that's what we've got here. We've got it where people are off the chain. The clear-headedness is gone right now. But right now it's been going on for so long that maybe some of them clouds have cleared a little bit, and now maybe they can start thinking. So here's some news for you, everybody that is listening. Calm that shit down, and calm down, and just think this through. Let the clear heads, all right, give them a chance to think this out and come up with a solution. You keep doing the reactionary stuff, it's going to continue on. And when there's nothing left to burn, there's nothing left to eat, there's nowhere left to live, what are you going to do? Then what's left? Then it's not civilization anymore. Then it's right back to being, you know, back to caveman.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not living like that.
I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. Let's take another quick break. We're back in just minutes. Want to break some of the stuff out from the old Born to Ride vault. Getting back when Nasty Ronnie had long hair. Remember that?
That's a while.
We got it for you, and Born to Ride Radio's back in minutes.
Saturday, June 20th, it's Crystal Harley-Davidson's Father's Day Ride. Ride with Dad or in memory of Dad. It's a free ride leaving at 11 a.m. from Crystal Harley-Davidson. Free gift to the first 30 people who register. Giveaways include Crystal Harley-Davidson $500 gift cards, 2-night stay at the Plantation Resort, free scalloping trip charter, Born to Ride bike show, TV taping, and magazine shoot. Get your photo with Dad. And National Metal recording artist Preacher Stone live in concert. It'll be awesome. Time for your next Harley? Trade yours in on a new one. All this and more. That's the Father's Day ride for you at Crystal Harley Davidson. Saturday, June 20th. Everyone welcome. Don't miss it. Be there.
Need we say more? Only at Crystal Harley Davidson, Homosassa, Florida.
Welcome to Born to Ride, the show that is finally here to the motorcycle enthusiasts of Tampa Bay and beyond. That's right, I'm your host, Nasty Ronnie, and week after week, I'm going to have different co-hosts, but we're going to have a great time. The main thing is to have fun, to have a good time, and I'm looking for people out there in the Bay Area who want to be a part of it. If you've got some ideas, write in. If you want to be a part of the show, write in. If you want us to come film at your house, write in. I want to hear from you people out there, and we're going to have a great show today, so tune in right here and every week on Born to Ride. Well, it's Biketoberfest, Daytona Beach. I'm honored to have Mr. Sonny Barger here with me today, a true revolutionary and a true legend. Sonny, I want to thank you for being a part of Born to Ride today.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, Sonny, what I want to ask you about, the Hells Angels, how did it all start?
Well, it was a bunch of guys got together, I guess, for the Hells Angels that were servicemen, came home from the war. They were based in San Bernardino at an air base. And I guess when they rode down the road, people would say, there goes one of those Hells Angels. And that's sort of where we got our name. We took stock motorcycles, took everything off of them that we considered they didn't need to run. Not for safety or anything, but just that it didn't need to make it run. And then we built the parts that we thought looked better than what the stock parts look like. In the 50s and the early 60s, a lot of Harley-Davidson dealers wouldn't even allow us in their shops because of what they said we did to the motorcycles. Now today they're trying to make them look like that. We're so different today than we were in the 50s. It's, there's no comparison. There's nothing like going to Europe, getting off an airplane, borrowing a motorcycle, and, riding with all your friends through all the countries in Europe. We're getting along well with every club in the world.
Well, Sonny, I really appreciate your time you gave us today. It's been an honor to have you on the show. Is there any last words to the viewers of Born to Ride?
Well, just keep riding and having a good time. Do what you like.
Thanks a lot, Sonny. So there you have it, an exclusive on Born to Ride TV. Mr. Sonny Barger, the famous Hells Angel. Check out his book, available in bookstores everywhere. This is Ron Galletti signing off from Daytona Beach with Born to Ride.
Hi, this is Bo Diddley, and you're watching Born to Ride. Now don't touch that dial because here comes some more, baby.
TV Radio Live every Tuesday night, 7 to 8 p.m. with Dave Flash Morgan, special guest, and Born to Ride TV content. At Facebook, Born to Ride TV Magazine. Read it, watch it, ride it.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 1. Get an attorney. When you or a loved one have been injured by another's negligence, an experienced attorney can make a huge difference. At Rubenstein Law, we will find all of the insurance, make sure your injuries are documented, and work to get you the best result. While each case is different, a well-known insurance company's own study showed people with a lawyer on average got more money. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
And we are back on Born to Ride Radio. I'm Dave the Flashman Morgan. Nefarious James in the house with me tonight, and we've been having some pretty crazy conversation about things going on in our great country. And Larry actually made the comment that common sense is a rarity. And what'd you say, James?
Well, like they end up saying, common sense isn't so common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they used to have it on sale down at the Walmart.
Yeah, it's on the clearance rack.
And yeah, we decided
they left everything there when they raided
we
that
decided it's on the clearance rack because we got too damn much of it. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Oh, just to change gears a little bit, you got to get out and do any riding lately? You've been out on the bike a bit?
A little bit, very little. I've been mostly working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the fun in that?
Then you get your
fun in it. Then you get your stimulus check.
Makes the check, pays the bills. Probably get those, new parts I've been needing.
Oh my gosh! And it's been, we had that stretch of weather, like we were talking the last time you were here, it was in May, and God, I was sad to see that go because it seemed like when that was going on, like so many of us, we were just worrying about where the next check was going to come from, how we're going to put food on the table, pay the rent, and the whole 9 yards. Right. So it was almost like a tease. I mean, why couldn't the corona hit in the middle of the damn summertime when it was too hot to ride?
Yeah. Well, I think people would have ridden anyway.
That's true.
Through this one, so it's not like it would have made any difference.
That's true.
I think the big problem that they have about the corona deal that's going on is you have, your different camps on that. You've got some that are like, oh, my God, I know someone who has it, and you've got people who don't have anybody they know on it and are questioning the validity of it.
Yeah.
Some are saying that it's, like a super flu, and some are saying it's not. I mean, I'm no doctor.
What are your thoughts on it, though?
What's that?
What do you think?
It's a really hard call because, I mean, I don't want to, tell people that have lost somebody through this is, that's all bull. I mean, it could very well be. I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know them. But I've noticed that thanks to the coronavirus, we no longer seem to have statistics on cancer showing up anymore or any other kind of ailment. Nothing else gets checked into the hospital but the coronavirus.
I saw a thing on Facebook that was going around where there was an automobile accident, and the guy was literally through the windshield, and he was about halfway through, and there was a news reporter with a microphone in his face saying, "So how long have you had corona?"
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad, but you see, here's what happened. They've created such a panic to some people. You have people that are going to believe everything on TV, and they're going to be extremists on it. It's like, oh my God, now I got to wear a mask. Oh my God, I got to wear a chemical suit. Oh my God, I've got to get that. And it comes down to they've wound themselves up in such a tizzy to where they're so stressed. Where when they have something else that might be wrong, I know a guy that a neighbor of mine wouldn't go to the hospital who had chest pain. We eventually had to call an ambulance on him. He had a stroke.
Wow.
Didn't want to go to the hospital because he was afraid to catch the coronavirus at the hospital.
There was a lot of folks like that.
So you've got this multitude of people with other I'm not
life-threatening ailments, man.
Life-threatening ailments that are afraid to go because the government and the news media has made this big spin on how this is a death sentence if you get it. But statistics show that a majority, if not a major majority of these people are surviving this. It's ones with pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to know if you've got a pre-existing condition. If you're wheezing and throwing up, and coughing big chunks of yellow phlegm, you pretty much got a problem.
Yeah,
with your
something
lung.
might be
It's
wrong
not gonna
there.
Be a surprise.
Might want to have it looked at.
Right. Probably previous to this. If you're, chain smoking 3 cartons of cigarettes a day, okay, I'm sure you pretty much already got something. You don't need to worry about it anyway. It's going to happen. The inevitable.
How long have you had the corona?
Yeah, really. But, it's again, like was pointed out by one of the viewers, common sense. People aren't using their common sense now. They'd rather just be reactionary and follow the leader. It's kind of like a good motorcycle ride where you're going to a benefit. You got the guy in the front leading everything, and everybody else is watching the palm trees and waving and looking all over the place. And they're like, "Wow, did you see that?" And they're like, "See what?" Oh, they're too busy having fun looking somewhere else.
Yeah.
And someone else is leading the way.
Right.
Now it's not that time to end up being that spectator. Start opening your eyes and see what's going on, because you know what? You said a key thing when you first logged back on. It's our country, okay? This isn't just one group's country. This isn't just like one little segment. Everyone on this right now that's here in this continental United States and abroad that is serving for our country, this is our country. treat it accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Would you go home and urinate on your own couch because you're bored?
All right.
Because that's what you're doing here. You're taking a dump on the country, your country, our country.
Yeah.
Why? You know, that's not how I don't think everybody wants to live. Then again, the mentality is, well, you know, I'm not doing it to my neighborhood. I'll go dump in someone else's neighborhood. Well, it's still part of the collective.
It seemed to me that a lot of the arrests that were made, I found that to be an interesting fact, too, that a lot of the arrests of these folks that were rioting and the folks that got caught were literally from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Some of them out of state, some of them from another county. But, yeah, so
well, in some cases, they're bussing them in.
Yeah.
It's just like what we saw with Ferguson. They're bringing in professional protesters.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And with professional protesters, there's an agenda. And someone else is pulling those strings. But those people who have that agenda have studied the mob mentality. They know if something triggers it, the mob will follow. Okay? That's like standing at a skyscraper, taking a bag of money and dumping it.
Yeah.
All right, out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody going to sit still?
Right.
No. It's opportunity. It's like anything else. Well, in this country, we pretty much already said to ourselves, every situation is an opportunity for somebody. It's just that who's this opportunity really benefiting? Because right now, all we're doing is we're just internally combusting. We're destroying ourselves.
Agreed.
So, you know, that's not the way I feel both or all sides, let's say, and everyone that's involved with this, except for a collective few. I don't really think that's what they're wanting the end result to be. I understand, all right, and I empathize with what a lot of what are a lot of the sources and what the changes are wanted. I get it. Okay, I actually do. What I don't get is some of the means that others are using to steer something that has a lot of validity to it, and more or less making it where it's just having others make a greater divide, so where they're not considering the original topic
the
anymore.
original problem.
Because
Sure.
right off the bat, you ask anybody now, they're not saying it's about George Floyd. They're saying it's about who knows, because it sure isn't about him anymore.
Yeah.
It's taking its own life, and it's moving in a direction that's doing nothing but be destructive for this country.
It's gone international, too.
Yeah.
It's gone
that's just
international.
it. It's gone international.
I mean, I saw them looting and having the same thing in Paris.
Yep.
Even some third world countries.
Yeah.
Who don't have a lot to begin with.
Right.
You know, and predominantly black.
Yeah. And why?
I don't get it, man.
I mean, I can understand them empathizing with, you know, with the same culture to a degree. But, you know, really just go out and destroy things for the sake of destroying it to try to make a point. Like I said, that turns ears off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thing is for cooler heads to prevail and say, you know what? Because realistically, I'm not against the president. I have my own views, and I leave those to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of the kneelers that are over in the Capitol building that I just saw pictures of. Disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
All right? In fact, I was going to sit there and start mine with yeah, okay, I'll kneel and think. No. Okay? And the reason being is I'm an American. I don't kneel. Okay? I'll empathize with you. I will sympathize with your cause. But that's the same view a lot of other government officials are going to have. It shows weakness. And they're not going to show weakness. Neither side wants to show weakness. Everyone wants to be the strong one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to have to come down to where eventually the strong are going to butt heads, and it's going to be ugly. So someone's got to have to sit there and say, you know what? And you know what will probably happen is that's probably the party that'll prevail. Will be the one that says, look, we need to take this and take cooler heads, and we need to talk this out. Because there's a good friend of mine, who I know will even nameless. It all comes down to everyone that's out there at the end of the day when they come in either from a protest or come in from work or come in from shopping, and they go out and they go into the bathroom and they go to brush their teeth and they look in that mirror, you got to be happy with that person you're looking at that reflection of, because that's who you deal with every day.
Yep.
And if you feel good about what you did that day, then all right, then you're happy with yourself. But if you're starting to question what you're doing and your motives behind it, or that they're not really pure motives and they're not really a thing you need to be doing, then you need to make them changes. And you need to make them changes soon, because the country can't take too much more of that until it turns into a martial law deal.
Yeah.
And then it's basically all bets off. Then
Yeah.
it gets to a real ugly stuff.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen. We'll stew on that for a minute. We're going to take another quick break. We're back in minutes. It's Born to Ride. Don't move.
Hey there, it's ready to kick off your favorite half hour of television.
Hold on, you really think it's their favorite half hour?
Of course it is.
So let's go on with the show.
All right, here we go. Stay tuned. The hottest half hour you've ever seen of Born to Ride. And you know what? Coming up in the next few weeks, you're going to see a different face and a different style of Born to Ride.
Is it going to be better and hotter?
The hottest ever. Stay tuned. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Born to Ride.
Coming up.
Blue Thunder, take us away.
I'm a spy. Shh, don't tell anyone.
You're really in Africa, right? This is
And
not
I
the
am
city.
really in Africa. This is Cape Town. If you look around, you will see it's Cape Town.
If you don't look around, you won't.
I might be right, I might be wrong. Might be tonight you'll find me gone. Ain't no turning back this time. I ain't walking no straight line. I can't lie to you no more. You know what I'm heading for. I can't try, but I can't stop. I chase my tail until I drop. Ain't no turning back this time. I ain't walking no straight
Hi, this is Dave Perowitz, and you know when I'm down south, first thing I do is search out a copy of Born to Ride, because I love reading it.
Welcome to Biketoberfest. Woo!
I love Bikeoverfest. I do love Bikeoverfest. Thanks for tuning in to Born to Ride. We're here at Daytona Beach. It's Biketoberfest. We're having a great time. It's slamming. But you know what? We're here at Corbin. Coming up on the show, we have an exclusive. That's right. With Sonny Barger from the Hells Angels, going to be interviewed right here on this episode. Don't go away.
We'll be back with more of Born to Ride. Woo!
Today's best and tomorrow's greats. It's time
for Cranked Up Country.
This is Cranked Up Country, heard on all the great stations across the nation. Check us out, crankedupcountryradio.com, or find us on social media, see what's going on with us. Born to Ride Motorcycle Media is the hub for the American biker lifestyle. Read it, watch it, ride it. BornToRide.com. Check out Born to Ride Magazine, the radio show, the podcast, the YouTube channel, and of course the events. It's the life and times of motorcycles and the people who ride them. Born to Ride, proud sponsor of the Cranked Up Country Radio Show podcast. Read it, watch it, ride it. BornToRide.com.
Today's best and tomorrow's greats.
Are you down with the nation? Tiny Trailer Nation, the biggest secret in travel and adventure. Take your motorcycle anywhere. Live in comfort on the spot. Say goodbye to hotel cost. Campers, toy haulers, themed trailers built for any budget. One bike or two. Includes electric, water hookups, microwave, refrigerator, sink, tie downs, and more. Your trailer or ours, new or used. Your dream is here at a working man's price. Tiny Trailer Nation, biker musician owned. A name you can trust.
I'll tell you what, we had some hot topics tonight. People checking in. Chuck is checking in. Shout out to Ron Hawks. Got us fired up tonight. Appreciate you checking us out. Nefarious James, always a pleasure having you here, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming down. I know it's a stroll, especially after a hot day working on the roads and whatnot, which they're doing, by the way.
Yes, they are.
We
They
got
are
video.
actually fixing the roads, which a lot of people can't believe, but they are.
Look forward to reading the Here Goes Everybody. You can check that out right now, too, at borntoride.com. The virtual magazine is up, and you can flip through the pages there virtually and just expand it out a little bit if you're having trouble seeing like I am, getting old. Here Goes Everybody is the title. You can check that out, like I say, right now, borntoride.com. As a matter of fact, while you're perusing the Born to Ride website, there is so much out there. We've got some of the older shows. We've got a whole YouTube channel that you can access there. So Born to Ride Babes. Fellas, I'm sure you're not into that, but if you are, check them out. They're all right there. Any closing words there, Nefarious James?
Yeah, I actually do. And this is kind of everybody who's actually paying attention out here. We say a lot of stuff on this program. I write a lot of crap. I make people think. I make you respond. Whether it's what you agree with or you disagree with, that to me is irrelevant. It's just getting the information out to you. I think it was Walter Cronkite used to back in the 70s. He used to end up doing his news broadcast, and he would report the news. He wouldn't give an opinion. He wouldn't tell you what to think. He would give you the news, but he would give it to you in such a way it made you think about it. And made you come up with your own judgment on how the news was reported and what was actually going on. That's not the way news is reported now. Now they tell you what they want you to think. They tell you what your opinion is, and they want you to follow what they say, listen to how they say it, and then take their word for it. You're smart enough out there to own a computer. Obviously, you're out here listening to this show. That means you should be smart enough to look up your own answers. And I'm not talking from your main news agencies. I'm talking from just everywhere else. There's so much information on the internet, but there's also so much crap on the internet. You can sift through that. Turn off Pornhub, whatever, for 10, 15 minutes.
As hard as it is, fellas.
It's tough, but go and look, and you'll see for yourself what's going on. There's plenty of video footage. There's plenty of first-hand accounts from people like you and me that are posting this stuff. That's the beauty and the bad part about social media now and smartphones, is that source of information can come from anywhere and anyone.
Are you saying that because it's on the internet that may not be true?
Actually, I'm probably saying that if it's on the internet, it's probably 3/4 BS. Because everybody wants their 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me wear a bag on my head, so I guess I'm just going to have to be put out here in front of everybody. That's fine. But think about what you're doing. This is our country. You have a brain. Make up your mind. Don't be a follower. Okay? This country was made by leaders, by smart people who let their heart and their minds make the decisions. You could do the same thing. You don't need to listen to your neighbor and believe everything he says. You're smart people. You know, you're proving that by listening to the show. You know, you're looking for a different opinion. You're looking for to be entertained, but you're also looking to be informed. That's the beautiful thing about this platform.
Yeah.
Is someone like me who is no different than any of you. I work for a living. I don't live in a fancy place. I live where I live. But it still comes down to, it's no different. But you're hearing it from somebody who's just like you. You don't have to take my word for it. Look it up yourself. You don't have to listen to everything I say. Find out. You're smart people. But also don't forget, go out there, ride those motorcycles. Enjoy yourself. The United States still has a lot of beautiful things to see.
Yep.
A lot of backcountry roads you can go to that's away from all the drama and away from all the stuff that's going on. Get out there on the road, see this stuff, and appreciate it.
Yeah, and clear
Understand
your
what
head.
it is that
Clear
you're
your
missing.
head.
That's just it.
Yeah.
I mean, what you're seeing on TV isn't everything. It's isolated incidents, but they're making it to where they think it's every single segment of your life. Go see what's worth fighting for. Go see what's worth standing up for. Get on your bike and go ride. Check these out. The events are starting back up. Go to them. Talk with other people. Because right now, the social distancing and everything else, it's a way of stopping communication face-to-face instead of doing it on smartphones and FaceTime and all this other stuff. Get out there in front of your neighbor. Talk to him. He may say something that makes you think something different or invoke some thought into a different direction. You're all smart enough. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So that's kind of like my thought on it is, live your lives. It's not over yet. I mean, go out there and freaking have fun. Enjoy. Things are opening up. Don't blow your entire savings at the bar.
Yeah, right.
But enjoy your life because you only get the one shot at it. If you're going to lock yourself in the house because you're so paranoid, you're missing out. I understand paranoia, but you're still missing out. You can still do things on your own. But go out there and get back there and in touch with people. Don't lose that contact. Don't lose that flow of information. Because the minute that you rely on one source to give you all your information is the time you're a sheep. And when you're a sheep, you're going to get sheared.
There you go.
That's all there is to it because those wolves are going to eat you up.
There you go.
So.
Nefarious James, you have an open invitation, my friend. Anytime you are in the area, please come on by. We can't wait to get you back in here again soon, getting the minds thinking. And like he says, folks, make your own decisions. Do your due diligence and make your own decisions. That's why we live here in the United States. And we will see you guys again next Tuesday night. Real quick, before we roll out of here, got to tell you a little something that's happening with me this Friday night. Kind of jump-starting the economy of your favorite DJ, the Flash Man, me, Matt the Brat, my buddy DJ Paul Santana. We got the Flashzilla, the COVID Killer. That's going to be happening for you this Friday night. I've got tickets online if you'd like to go. We've got about 25 tickets live for the live event. It's going to be live and virtual, so you can check us out online. You can get a ticket. You have to have a virtual ticket for the show, and we've got 3 tickets for your choosing. You can do the $20 donation, throw a little 20 in the tip jar. That will secure the next 25 people to get one to a private party at the Skating Center at United Skates on Armenia in Tampa. We're putting on a big production. We're going to have a great time. We're taking it back to the old school for you. And then Paul Santana comes on with his show, the Friday Night All Skate, starting at 11, going until 1 o'clock. And that's the live show. And again, you can catch the whole thing. And if you're strapped for cash like I've been lately, man, enjoy it on us. There's a free ticket there. Go and get your free ticket. But please go get one because I need all the help I can get on this thing. And then we've got one for like a $5 donation on up to whatever you feel like throwing in the tip bucket if you can't make it and want to help support us. We certainly do appreciate it. And we will see you guys again right here on Born to Ride Radio next Tuesday. Have a great week, y'all.
Is your business becoming invisible? Create a great advertising relationship today with Born to Ride. Call 888-795-5779.